Greetings, good day. Welcome back to the series that I am producing, where I'm talking to amazing leaders who are part of this year's Festival of Collaboration. My name's Vanessa-Mary, and I am a holistic wellbeing coach based in Nottingham, and I'm so excited that I have another opportunity to be surrounded by amazing men and women who are part of this year's Seeds of Unlimited Success. This is a family business growth summit. I did the first one last year, so we're getting ready to not only meet again for those of you who were in the room last year, but we have so many mums and dads and people who are in business together with their husband, their wife, their sister, their brother, who are going to be part of this event. Now, an event like this doesn't actually happen and come together to the high standard of which I produce an event without the support and the funding of a headline sponsor. So I am so honored and delighted to not only have met this incredible woman, but she is such a trailblazer. I'm learning so much from her. She is a key supporter in this event. So she's not just a headline sponsor, she's actually an event partner. I'm going to bring her on now. Eleri Gosler, thank you so much, representing Silvatree UK. So thank you so much, Eleri. It's been so wonderful to be in your world. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Gosh, well, thank you very much. I don't really know what I'm supposed to say. So my name is Eleri. We just spoke about my surname, actually. It's Dutch, I found out. So my name is Welsh. I'm Welsh. I come from Wales. My first language is Welsh, not English. I guess I've had quite an interesting career, shall we say? From legal work, the legal world, the corporate legal world, in the oil and gas industry, to running a fund, to building properties.
Wow.
To bankruptcy, to people growing cannabis in our houses and me ending up going to prison, to making millions, to having nothing, coming out of prison with literally nothing, not a penny. Well, actually, that's not true. I had a discharge grant of £43, let's not forget. So my journey into setting up businesses again has been very much influenced by that desire and that power to carry on regardless.
Yeah,
I've done it once with money, and I'll be honest, it's easier, but it's not as fun. And I'm doing it again with the power of just the taking the joy out of life, really taking into account what really matters for people, and finding, as an entrepreneur, finding those loopholes, taking the opportunities in between rather than following the herd, and looking at what people really do need in their lives. I'm not somebody that follows a million different coaches or gurus or whatever. Or I listen to everybody. I'm keen, I'm open-minded, and I will take for myself whatever I need from their journey. So, and that's Silvatree was really born out of a need that I had to have money. So we created our own. But through this wonderful concept, I've managed to set up my own law firm. I've also set up, as you know, the community, or the fellowship rather, of Love Entrepreneurs, which is a fellowship, if I'm truthful, I set up because when I came out of prison, I needed to surround myself with people who believed in me.
Mm-hmm.
Who would give me a hearing, a voice, and take me seriously. And that's how we've set up. So the whole premise of Love Entrepreneurs is all about sharing experience, strength, and hope with each other, so that we can all help each other move forward and actually collect inevitably, through collaboration, through fellowship, through friendship, build great businesses. So we do the big fix, as you know, we do the up, and we also fund businesses.
Wow. So that is so, I mean, that is so much that you should, this is when I speak with you, like we have our private conversations, and I always come away with like, you are such a big thinker, you are a visionary, but also you're an action taker. And this is what I love about your energy, Eleri. So I just want to break things down just a little bit because you've explained a roller coaster of life. So you've actually seen the highs and the lows. Where do you want us to go? Should we talk about the high points and things that you're now bringing back into business? Or do you want to really expand on how it felt to start with nothing and, you know, tell us a bit more about the Silvatree community and what that's achieving? So it's up to you where you want to take the
Well, I think it
down.
all speaks to, you know, it all intermingles, because for me, and I think this is the thing for people to understand about entrepreneurship, there's a big difference between being an entrepreneur and just being a business person. There's a massive difference. Now, for me, people will very often disagree with this about me. They'll say that, you know, if I look at some of the reports that were written about me at the time of the trial, you know, Eleri Cosset doesn't do anything unless it's for money. Well, that's a very superficial statement to make. And if they were to take 5 seconds to look underneath all the charities I funded and all the things I did for other people, my whole life premise is about the creation of something from nothing.
Wow.
That is what really, really excites me. That's my turn on for life, if you like. The creation, if someone says no, I'm like, let's just see.
Yeah.
And the thing about when you come out of somewhere like, you know, a prison situation is, I mean, by the way, I mean, I had the best time in prison, you know. I mean, I don't want to advocate, oh, everyone must commit crime and go to prison. But, you know, you take from it what you can, and you give what you can. It's a very equal community. There's some amazing people that I met in that community, in the prison community. But I did something there that gave me more joy and happiness than anything, any making money, any, you know, and I made a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking millions now. But you know, teaching women to be able to read, Vanessa-Mary.
Wow.
Many of the women where I was in Eastwood Park could not even read. There was 48% illiteracy capacity there. Now, to actually be able to share in that person's journey and contribute to them changing their lives, gives you more satisfaction than any amount of money can ever, ever, ever contribute to. And that's the thing, you know, I was given that privilege, and I see that as part of a privileged life journey.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see the loss of money as, oh my gosh, you know, a lot of people say, how on earth did you survive after that? Well, you know, at the end of the day, I'm somebody that looks to the universe. The universe is my guide, you know. You know that I'm in recovery from alcoholism, and I'm going to break my anonymity now. Sorry, AA people, but it's through the 12 steps of AA that I found my real anchor, my real home. Yeah. I found it gave me a reason. I found a community, which is what I hope I brought with Love Entrepreneurs and Silvatree, which provides real hope, which will love me even when I don't love myself. Now, through that, if you like, download, I know people think that's a bit weird, but
no,
I thought that, you know, why can't we? Because the majority of reasons that businesses don't survive, it's not because the idea isn't a good idea. It's because they are not open to the universe and to change. Be open to everything and closed to nothing, always.
Yeah.
You know, be contempt prior to investigation is the number one offender, because the universe always has the answer for you right in front of your eyes. I mean, how many times have you had a shower and you've gone, that's the idea? Because you're not thinking about it just comes. Yeah. So the idea of Silvatree was born out of, how do we help people survive and guarantee that they survive and thrive? So all we do is we take business that we haven't had before. We've never had it before anyway. So there's no point moaning that people want cash, because that's what people want. We've never had it in the first place. And then we use the proceeds from that to pay for things that we normally pay cash for. Well, is that? And that's what Silvatree is. And all we're doing is we're selling our spare capacity, which is when you don't have a cash paying client. And we've managed to, we've got hundreds of members who are actively using this. The nice thing about it is it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter who your parents are. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. We're not going to ask you for a house guarantee to lend you money. We provide overdraft facilities for everybody to get going with. But it actually results in you having to pay less money out and conserve more actual cash in your business. But it's something that is ubiquitous. It's applicable to anybody and everybody that has something to sell, whether it's goods, services, or whatever. And yes, people will say, oh yes, but can I use it in Tesco? No, not yet. But that will happen. I guarantee you that will happen one day.
It will. So
that proves the point, doesn't it?
It proves the point.
Tesco. Well, I'm thinking, you're not exactly open-minded, are you? Because if Elon Musk had started out thinking like that, he wouldn't have got very far. That is the whole point. It's visionary thinking. We're thinking above the problem for a solution.
So let me just break it down again for those of you who are listening. Silvatree is supporting small business owners like myself. So I'm going to give the example of the events where I've been a member for about 2 months now. And within that time, not only have I gained a key sponsor, partner, friend through Eleri, she's put me on the platform. I've had speaking opportunities within the community. And what I've done is with those who are exhibiting, who are members of the Silvatree Exchange, I have not reduced, but I have put an invoice for cash. And then the other part of the invoice has been in the silver currency. So I'm not losing anything. What I'm doing is I'm building up my currency within the Silvatree Exchange, which means that I'm going to use the printer. So the printer who's involved in your community to help with the program. There's an administrator within your community who's helping with the promotion. Of course, they're going to charge me cash, but I can also pay them in silver as well. So I just wanted to give that practical example of how this is helping me. Being part of this community is helping me to maintain more cash in my bank account. So I absolutely love it. And I love entrepreneurs as well, because they are interchangeable. But, it's like we're all benefiting from being part of both of the communities. And I'm going to go back. Well, there's a couple of words that I've written here. You're definitely heart-led. I mean, anybody who gets the opportunity to be around you, I know we haven't met face-to-face yet, but we will be. But, it's just like your energy. You can feel your energy. You can feel you really pour into people, and I feel like, if you're like this, for people that are just coming into your world, the ones who've had the opportunity to be part of your life on a much longer basis, you really pour so much into the people that I can see around you. So, you're very heart-led. I love that. And again, the word download. So I have explained to people that have listened to me that, even creating this event was a download, Eleri. This isn't something that I have come up with. I just sat in stillness. I wasn't necessarily looking for an idea, but the download came through very quickly. I wrote it down. And then it was really like, right, you need to get to work. You need to put this into action. And that's what happened. That's what happened. So, creating something from nothing is what you explained. I think now we could go back and talk about Love Entrepreneurs a little bit more and the big fix idea, because just again, to give people some context, I didn't want to do the big fix. When I know, absolutely. How silly. When Humera and Heather, who are members of your community, said, "Oh, Vanessa, you should really do a big fix," I said, "Oh, no, it's okay. Once I've got the event out of the way, then yes, I'll come back
Too
and
busy.
I'll do that. I'm too busy. I don't need it right now." And they said, "No, come on, you need, just put yourself forward." So do you want to explain to the audience what the big fix is, please, Eleri?
Okay, so the idea of the big fix came from me, myself, having to do a big fix. Okay, so or something similar, and I was doing it on Silvatree. We had a precursor to Silvatree. We had a sort of trial back in 2018 called Utrade, and I was doing it on that. And yeah, there I was. I thought, oh well, yes, I'll, speaking engagement. I'll stand up. I'll tell them all about it, and they'll all go, "It's fantastic. It's amazing." No, that's not quite what happened. They were very loving, but they came up with 71 points, not one or two, but 71. So when I write people's big fix reports, if anybody's listening, just be thankful I didn't come up with 71 points. But they came up with 71 points of things that they didn't understand or things that need to be better explained and that sort of thing. And, I really, really loved that idea. I mean, initially I was like, oh God, seriously, this is, but what it showed me was, look, my target audience was them. So it didn't matter really what I thought. I might have thought this is the best business in the world. It doesn't actually matter what I think. What matters is, what do you think? What do the people think? How do they perceive it? So what they were really doing was giving me really valuable insight into how I could better tell people about this, how I could better explain this idea to people, all of those things. And that was really, really important. And I thought, you know what, this is transformatory. Why don't we do this for small businesses or large businesses? It doesn't matter. And what we do, we have 4 sessions a week. So we do, what I like to do, and there's a reason for this, and you did this in this way, we do 2 sessions on 2 separate days for an hour each for each business. So there is a Monday and a Tuesday session at 4 o'clock, and there is a Wednesday session at 2 till 3, and a Thursday session 1 till 2. So people do it over 2 days. They get recorded videos and they get a written report by me. Now, it's not AI created, I should add, because I need to be on the button here, because I need to do it in real time as my brain is thinking. And it comes up with ideas. It's not there to criticize. So, for example, you can't just rock up and say, "Oh, your website is rubbish." No, that's not allowed. You have to come up with, okay, we don't like your website, but this is how we think and what you think you need to do, and this is how you do it. Because there's no point saying to somebody, we don't like X, Y, and Z, unless you've got a solution. Because it's very easy to criticize, less easy to come up with a solution. Now, this is all free for people to do. We don't charge anything for people to do this big fix. And what happens in the big fix is people start coming in from the community saying, "Hey, I'll do this for you. I'll do that for you. I'll help you with this. I've got ideas for that." And collaborations flourish automatically, because this is my big bugbear. People don't really understand collaboration. They think not invented here mentality. No. The world is a huge place. If we were to collaborate freely much more, we would make so much more money. We would. Look how the corporates operate. They always collaborate with each other. I'll give you an example, actually, quickly from the oil and gas industry, which is my legal experience. So the oil and gas industry, they don't take insurance out with third parties. They don't need to. They self-insure. When an oil and gas company strikes oil somewhere or gas, the first thing they do is they offer it out to everybody, and they call them, sub-participation agreements or production sharing agreements. And everybody contributes to each other's production platforms, which is why it's very unusual for you to see major oil and gas companies go out of business, right? People might have wondered, because they all support each other. Now, if we you know, just take a leaf out of their book, because they've been going for quite a long time. If we only did that, and so for example, with your community here, the Seeds of Success, I've been telling people in the Silvatree community in Love Entrepreneurs, come on, get off your asses and get down to Nottingham and support. Because when you support somebody else, that other person and those other people who are going to support you will support them.
Yeah,
That's how it
definitely.
works. That's how this
Definitely.
works. So
Definitely.
yeah, and then of course we do this, you know. So then I have a session with people, and then I recommend we do coaching at Love Entrepreneurs. I hate that word coaching. My word for it, you know, my phrase for it is, "All get your shit into one sock," you know,
Yes.
because invariably people have not sat quietly with a white piece of paper, and the biggest mistake they make is they haven't tested their ideas. They've just gone out to market and gone. Blah, 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 blah. There's no testing happening. So often they'll turn up and they'll go, oh, you know, this is not working, that's not working. Well, no, but it doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just means that you might need to tweak it. But you have
So,
to be open-minded to do this, right?
definitely. I mean, I would highly recommend anybody listening, if you're in business, check out the Love Entrepreneurs site, so the website, or also the LinkedIn page. Get in contact with Eleri about the Big Fix. You can come along to have a look first as an observer, you know, and see what it's all about. That's what I did. So, Eleri, with your permission, I did pull 3 cards. And the first card is actually expect powerful change. So 2 of them popped out on their own. Expect powerful change. New moon eclipse. So I was telling you, because it's the new moon, when the new moon this week, I have been talking to people about manifestations and how this is a really good time if you're wanting to bring positive things into your life. It's a brilliant time. So this is going to represent the powerful change. Expect a powerful change. I mean, just being in your company, I feel more powerful. So I'm just going to get the reading for this 96. Let's see what the deeper meanings are.
It's going to be something really negative now.
No. I mean, I don't do this. You know, this is just something I incorporate.
It's a quiet at this point. Actually, let's go to the commercial break.
Commercial break.
Music, yeah. You know.
Okay. All right, then. All right. So I'm going to pick you up on this, actually, say something negative. But this first thing, no, let me read the thing here. It does talk about a door slamming shut, actually. So I don't know how you guessed that. But I'm not seeing it as negative, because it says you pulled this card. It suggests that the situation you're asking about is about to reach a peak, or it's just done so and things are now out of your hands. In a sense, I kind of feel that with this event, Eleri, I'm not going to lie. I've done the promotion, I've been showing up, I've been giving talks, the tickets are on sale. Okay, exhibitors are leaving it to the last minute, I must say, to book on, because the program needs to be finalized and printed. I can see how many people have looked at the page, Eleri, because I do all of my own tech. So I kind of feel like, you know, if any of you have looked at this, you're like, oh, but you've not quite made a decision to be there or buy a virtual ticket. I'm literally, it's out of my hands. Yeah, that's how I'm reading this card. It's a powerful change. Being in the company of leaders like Eleri, we've got top speakers who've literally lived it, learned it, and they wanting to pass that on. They're going to add value to someone's life. So it says, allow events to unfold. That's what's happening. Letting go. That's what's happening. I'm letting go. And that's another thing as well, Eleri. You know, sometimes in life we do need to know when to let go because of the resistance. But it does say here, it's time for you to get back on track. So I will take that as a personal message. I don't know if there's things in your life, Eleri, you're like, oh, actually, I just need to, you know, there's always something to do. And we're very busy women, aren't we? So I want to go back. We did a session this week within the Love Entrepreneurs community where we were talking about how to become a key it was person, but take it as it will, man or woman of influence. You've heard Eleri's journey here, how she's literally had the highs and lows in business, in life, and she's turned her life around. She's created something out of nothing. These beautiful communities are making a difference. So within that conversation, I spoke about the 5 C's. I've just pulled it up here, where I was talking about community, connections, clarity, commitment, and calibrate. So the calibrate for me is about your emotional vibration, the energy that you turn up with, the frequency that you're literally, showing up with all the time, whether people are looking at you or not looking at you, and then the overall vibration that sends off, because that's what's going to literally radiate throughout the universe, that ripple effect that you spoke about as well. So in that regard, Eleri, based on the conversation that we've had this week and thinking about the event, how do you see this event really giving people a platform to, ignite and scale up what they're doing so that they can become more influential within their industry?
I think that the first thing that people need to deal with is a real deep-rooted belief and understanding of why are they doing what they are doing. And I don't just mean, superficial. I mean deep within. So the unification between head and heart, that is very, very important. The unification of heads and hearts is absolutely vital here. And people need to actually understand that if you don't have that unification between head and heart, and if you don't have a program which is going to ground you, call it a spiritual program, call it anything, but you do need a grounding program. Because what's going to happen if you don't have that, you are going to get wafted off course. Every time you speak to somebody new, every time you hear an objection, you're going to take it personally. Every time someone says to you, yeah, but are you, you're going to start to take it on as energy. Because don't forget, remember, we are all energy. That's all we are. Forget how we work, we're energy.
Yes.
We have to really focus, and we have to do the work on uniting ideas and energy together as one. Yes, we need that this is the sort of stuff that we do at Love Entrepreneurs. We work with energy, we work with frequency, we work with, positive affirmations, we work, but we have to get rid of ego. Ego has
you see? I knew this conversation was going to be amazing.
biggest problem, because ego tells no, stay safe. It lives in fight or flight. It keeps us safe, right? But ego also prevents us from moving forward, because we very often are our own barriers to success, right? Because we haven't done the real internal work of visualizing what success, and actually I don't like that phrase that I've just said, visualizing success, because the visualization of success is part of it, but you are successful anyway by virtue of just being. That is enough.
Yes.
You are enough to start to say that, I don't want people to go into this world of you are less than. No, you're not. You're fine as you are. People often come to me and they say, why don't we have any more clients? You will attract clients, the right people to you, by virtue of your energy radiation. You will attract a tribe. Now, I looked at what I thought was missing in business, and I thought, well, what can I fix? I can fix money. If people don't have any money, I can sort that out. No problem. If people need funding, I can sort that out. If people need business coaching or whatever, I can sort that out. But I have to show people in leadership, first of all, how that is possible, because I'm not like a snake oil seller that will go and just say, oh yes, buy this for the sake of it, unless I try it myself, because that doesn't work for me. But people have got to actually put in the legwork in self-development to really start to feel the connection with the higher power or with the power of the universe. Because once you start to feel that, you can replenish your energy tanks at any point in time, and it doesn't matter what other people think of you. Actually, I hate to say it, is none
None
of
of
your
your business. Exactly. Do you know what? I don't know what people are going to think of me, Eleri, because I read the wrong thing out. No, just
commercial break
scrap.
moment. Commercial break.
Commercial break. No, expect a powerful new change is basically saying affirm that you can achieve your desired outcome. Okay, so ignore everything that I said before,
Yeah,
and
we'll take this offline, shall
yeah,
we?
we'll take this offline. And it says, all right, this is a nice one. You're at an important turning point in your life. So I'm not going to take back the words that I said, though, because I do mean that in the sense of I know that I have shown up. Going back to what you were saying there, about it's about how we are. So I know for some people, they let their ego even stop them from trying. Okay. I
Yeah,
have created
yeah,
something out of nothing with this event. It's all been self funded. It's
yeah.
me being on a hustle. And actually, I've not let any self sabotage or self doubt stop me from even having a go. So actually, when I said before about showing up and what will be, I do stand by that because I know that the ones who are supposed to be in that room or have an online ticket will be there because they will feel the energy, they will feel the light, they can see the light, they will come towards the light, and they will know that it's meant to be. Some people, they in a sense have no expectations, Eleri, but they just feel a calling. They just feel, do you know what, there's something about the lineup, the speakers, the vibration. I know that I'm supposed to be there. So I don't actually take that back. But I am going to read this correctly because the second card, which will be representing the present, is your hard work is paying off.
Oh,
Oh, that's cute, isn't it? That's
that's
cute. I like it when we get these
ka-ching.
confirmations. Let's call it that. So your hard work is paying off. So first and foremost, this card suggests a new start for you professionally. I was reading this for you though, but this seems to be my reading. Maybe you just go to the next level as well, Eleri. I don't know. If it resonates, let me know. But I need a new start because I was working part time in the university and do my wellness coaching part time. So this does for me feel like a new start anyway. So you need to look at the long term and think about where you want to be in the next 12 months. Again, I feel that anybody coming to the event, you're going to walk away with that vision. You know, you're not just going to sit there and think, oh, that was a nice talk. That was a nice workshop. No,
Well,
you will
it's
be
always
thinking
about
ahead.
it's always about forward momentum. And I say to people, be prepared to pivot at all times. But I mean, the other thing is, right, ego holds you back from moving forward, right? So just this is what I had to do, right, when I went through my mess, basically. So I had to put myself in the hands of another energy, right? I had to accept that I had no control over what was going to happen to me when I went to prison. Because yes, okay, I could bleat until the cows come home that I didn't do it, but the fact of the matter is nobody believed me anyway. And I just had to accept that. Nobody believed me. I wasn't going to, it's a bit like the woman doth protest a bit too much.
Mm.
I was never going to get over. I knew from the moment the police turned up that they had decided that it was going to be me. And there was absolutely nothing I was going to be able to do to change their minds. So from that moment onwards, I had to fortify myself from within to go, you know what? The universe will look after me.
Yeah.
Now, there is a book called Drop the Rock. It's AA literature. No, it's actually, well, it's AA approved literature. So it's Hazelden, I think. I would really encourage people to read this because this was a really pivotal moment in my development when it described a beach, and it described all of us, every single one of us, as a grain of sand. Now, if you need anything that's going to diminish your ego, that is a picture that's going to diminish your ego. It means that we're all just as equal, just as worthy as the next person. It doesn't matter whether or not, you know, you have seen yourself as creating amazing things or non-amazing things. You are amazing because you have probably contributed to amazing things without you even realizing it. But it talks about collaboration there, because one grain of sand cannot exist on its own.
No, exactly.
Hello,
And
world.
why do we feel that we can? Why would you want to?
No, also, yeah, it's a bit lonely. Also, think of it like this. If we were only all to genuinely help each other move forward, what on earth is the problem with that? There is no point. Think how lonely it is for Jeff Bezos out there. You can only talk to Elon Musk, and he's actually fallen out with him. So there's only, it's. I cannot emphasize this enough. And I want people to observe how they feel doing this today, right? Try really looking to really collaborate with your heart, not with what's in it for me or
exactly. Oh my
gosh. Really do the heart-led thing and just explore what happens.
And see how the miracles pour into your life when you least expect them, Eleri. I wasn't expecting to meet you. I wasn't searching for you. Do you get what I mean? I wasn't searching for Silvatree. I wasn't searching for Love Entrepreneurs. But through a chain of events, I was connected with Humera, who attended the event last year. She felt the power of the event last year. She was the first one to book on as an exhibitor before it even announced anything. And then as she got into your community, then she obviously put the word out, sent her invitations out. So that's what I'm trying to say. These things come together. There was another part of that card that I wanted to share. And it was about hard work will make your dreams a reality. So don't think we just sit here in a woo-woo language. I keep hearing people say, oh, it's all woo-woo. No, for me personally, yes, I use the power, the laws of the universe. Yeah, I study the laws of the universe, but I actually do take action. And that's another thing. When we're in business, don't think you can just sit there and, oh, I don't need to market my business. Nobody needs to know me. I don't need to show up. They'll find me.
But here's the thing that I think anyway, it's not about just if you want what I've got, you've got to do what I do, right? But it's not like, don't do social media posts just like everybody else does. Do it from the heart. Do it from the heart. Stop listening to, because stop the amount of, I don't know, maybe I'm being unfair here, but I don't know what you think about this. There's so many business owners out there that just talk back, repeat back to me what they've heard from other people. Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But they're not doing anything from the heart. They're doing things that they've heard other people tell them that they should do.
Yeah, they're not tuning in. They're not tuning
in from the heart.
Yeah.
You will broadcast in a very different way. And the energy resonance comes from that. They're not tuning in, and is very, very clear. What they're doing is just what everybody else is doing. And remember, if you want to stand out from the crowd, you need to stand aside and do something genuinely different.
Be unique, be your authentic self as well, because as it was famously said, everybody else is taken. So, just, for me, I'm accepting who I am. Warts and all, the past, people are going to judge me about my past, Eleri. Okay, we were talking about the surnames, and I said, "Oh, so I've had a child out of wedlock." For some people, that's like shock horror. You've had a child. I've had 3 children.
Marriage.
We've got a lovely comment here from Kay Reeve. And also Charlotte Munn, who said, sounds amazing. But let me show this for Kay, because Kay, she's part of your community and she's exhibiting and speaking at the event. So she put, great conversation, ladies. I've enjoyed listening while working. Oh, she's got to go now. Glad to be in Silvatree and to be exhibiting and speaking at your event this month, Vanessa-Mary. So yeah, Kay is absolutely amazing. You attract pure energy, heart-led women and men when like you said, you're showing up in a certain vibration. I love it. I love it. But yes, going back to the little laughter that we were having before.
Well, but the thing is, let's just explore this, right? So, because I think this is worth mentioning. So, I want people to observe this when people set up communities and you know, I'm doing things like this with you and you're saying, oh, you're a leader and that sort of thing. Let me just be very clear about this, right? So I don't want to see myself as a leader. Well, I want to see myself as an educator, somebody who's passing on a message to other people. I want to see everybody as leaders. I'm just a voice. I'm just passing on a message. I'm no better than everybody else, and I make friends through this community. You know, this community sustained me. So this is not like, this is not a moment of wanting to have a complete guru moment whereby I'm, you know, posited as this great and wonderful, you know, creature. And I think therein lies the danger, and that's when people get the ego starts to not so much on my part, but on other people's part. It's the cult of personality, right? And people get really worried about, well, we don't want to collaborate with them because you know it'll be her community, because people often her community, and that's not. But because I think of us lot as a we are a we.
Yes,
we're not an I. We're a we, you know, and everybody can talk about Love Entrepreneurs or Silvatree, and it is their community. It's got nothing to do with me. I just used it. Listen, I run a law firm called Maguire Mitchell, right? I use Silvatree. You know, that's what I do as a day job. I also run Love Entrepreneurs, you know, and I do a lot of work with Silvatree. You know, I've used it myself. I mean, when I had money, first thing I got was a website built.
Yeah.
That enabled me then to share my knowledge with others, and it enabled me to get clients.
This has been great. So, Eleri, what I've just put here, educator success leaves clues. Okay, there's been so many clues that have been left in our conversation. As we wrap up, I cannot help but to share the last card that came through, which is adjustments are required. Okay, now I see this as very relevant to what you've just said, because the first thing that here says, think of yourself as a vessel that has been filled more and more over the past few weeks. And I feel that in the community is more, you know, different energies come in. Sometimes I'm going to ask you offline, but there was somebody on the call yesterday. I'm like, who's that? I want to know who that was. You know, there's different energies. We're connecting online, and they may just say one thing, and that can fill you up. You know, I sit there and I make intense notes, and then I think, oh, I want to follow up with that one. Sometimes time doesn't allow it, Eleri, you know, because I'm doing stuff, but you see them again. Oh, I just think it's so beautiful. So I agree with you. It's the way.
Was it the Pussy Galore? The lady who
Pussy Galore. Ooh.
Julianne was amazing. I mean,
brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So basically, it says here that this card comes with the promise that all is not lost. Okay, so let's both take that as well, Eleri. I know that you're always pushing forward. You're supporting so many men and women in their business. All is not lost, but there are some changes and adjustments required before you will get where you want to be. Okay, now I think all of us in business, if you're not wanting to learn and grow and make adjustments in your business, then you're just at a standstill, you know. So how is that going to support you to scale up to get to the next level anyway? And additional meaning, something new and exciting is around the corner, and it's on Saturday the 17th of May in Nottingham.
Yeah, that's right. Come and find out. I'll be on the stage, and there'll be this vortex smoke.
I can't wait. There was a beautiful comment that was left on a post yesterday that was saying, Vanessa, you give so much for this event, which I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but people are practically getting everything for free if they really think about the cost. Okay. Now, one of the things that we spoke about yesterday, so we can share it now, there is an after party. Yes. For you lucky ticket holders, the conversation doesn't just stop there. I have been saying to you, this isn't just an event. This is a movement. This is a community. We're going to continue to work with each other. So we want you, if you've got your ticket, so exhibitors, people who are attending, speakers, you are invited to join us on Sunday, the 25th of May at 7 p.m, where Eleri will be doing a slot. I've called it Fit for Funding. I kind of listened to you yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm having that word. So Eleri will show you how you can actually bring funding into your business. Okay. We're going to not do any spoilers here, Eleri. We need them on that call. And I will be talking about legacy. How are you building a true legacy within your business? So I think both conversations will just blend so well together, Eleri. So
Hopefully.
Yeah. That's what they get. So, Eleri, it's been such a beautiful conversation. Is there anything that you wanting to leave the viewer with as we sign out today?
Well, I mean, all I can say is, come along. If anybody wants to come and investigate, find out more about Silvatree, do not please be obligated to sign up. This is not about trying to sell you something. This is about educating you as to what can be or could be. Every Tuesday, rather, and I'm sure I will share that on the group. We do an explainer session on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Happy to meet you there, happy to just take you through what we do and just tell you what I did. I know that Vanessa's got some codes that she can give out to people who are interested in joining. But before you join, I want to be sure that you really truly understand how this thing works and that it's right for you, because we don't want people joining and then saying, oh, we're not going to use it. And if that's not for you, that's absolutely fine. The invitation is there from everybody that Vanessa-Mary knows in her community to come and do a free big fix. You can do it free whenever you want to do it. So just get in contact with her and I'll be very happy to host you and help you in any way I can.
Excellent. Well, what I'll do, Eleri, is I'll put the link for the explainer session underneath this podcast as well. So people that are watching the replay, they can check that out. But Eleri, as I said, excuse me, it's been such a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much for your time today and sharing your story, and also all of the support that you've given me in the background. It's not easy putting this type of thing together. So, you're not just a silent funder sponsor. I love the energy of like, oh, I've spoken to this person. I've spoken to I think it's just amazing. So thank you. I've needed it. It's been very, very welcome. But Eleri, thank you so much. And what we'll do, like I said, I'll put the link in. And also anybody who wants to come onto the Big Fix, I will also share the link for Love Entrepreneurs as well, so you can see that. Anyway, she's a busy woman. The phone keeps going. So I'm going to sign out now. So thank you, everybody, for joining us on the live stream. Thanks for your comments. And also thank you for watching the replay. We're over and out. Bye.